Hey guys, welcome to Hackmed Gaming. I'm Hackmed. We are back from out of ore. Get right into it. We got so much stuff to do in this season to get anywhere. Let's start with our debuff, our issues, our problems. Roll two, get one, or roll twice, use both. Say we haven't had it in a while. We get it all the time. All right. I'm gonna start thinking this is staged. Okay, so that just is gonna negate it. I'm gonna get twice in a row now. Always get that. We're just gonna spend all day because that was broke down last episode. So we already said that we won't have back to back of the same issue. Okay. All right. So main claim road's done. All right. So that tells us we're not doing any road work up there today. So that's good. And truck breakdown. Okay. Okay. Then our only and best hope here is that we get to use the hopper. If we use the hopper, then we can do some digging down in the cut. If not, then we'll go from there. All right, so we do have that for an option. All right, good to go. All right, so our trucks are down again. We can't work on the road. It can't be used, and I've never really specified, but if I can't drive on it, I'm going to assume that I'm not going to be able to work on it. All right. Okay, are you full? Is that why you are not working? Or are you turned off for some? I bet you turned off when I turned off the main power. Gotta be. I guess not. We got a lot of room in those things. Man, what do I want to do here? I kind of want to work on the cut. I kind of also want to continue working here to start building. I guess first and foremost, let's get our steel out of here. We're gonna have to at some point get some small wash plants for the items or the diamonds and rubies and stuff. But I'm just holding off. I'm hoping something's coming down the road that will deal with that in a bigger aspect. But we'll see. Either way, I'm not really worried about it. All right, what are we up to? 159. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. We need more beams, that's for sure. Okay, there's more beams. Gonna have to work on some steel walls too. Maybe I do that. Let's take what we have. Let's make 90 steel walls. And how many is that gonna make? Oh, just 2. I got 2 left. 8 beam. Oh, because I'm out of nuts and bolts. They're here, and that's got a bunch being made, right? Yeah. All right, so 95. I think 95 is good. All right. So that should use up all our beams and all our sheets. So now we're pretty much, let's see here. Go with like, max it out. All right. So that's going there. Still got a ton there. What are we going to need for... We're going to need rods. Where do we make rods at? Those here? Those are there as well. So we're going to end up wanting some steel staircases. We're going to want steel roof. All right, so we're gonna need roofs. That's gonna be beams and sheets, beams and sheets, beams and sheets, beams and sheets. Railing are gonna be rods, staircases, beams and rods. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's knock 99 rods out of there. Yeah, it still leaves a lot of stuff. Oh, those can just go in there. And what else did I have in there? Oh, power cables. All right. Yeah, I think that should be good. That's good. It'll kick. It's going to go for a long time. Once we get the plant over here going, we'll probably obviously have some manufacturing done in this process here. I'm assuming it's quicker like smelting is. I don't know, though. But on top of that, we need to... I need to see if it's... I've never really looked. Do I make more for selling like a steel floor compared to the X amount of bars it takes to make it? I'm going to have to look into that. I'm assuming selling stuff that you produce would be more than the items themselves, but you just never know. All right, so let's put this stuff back. Let's load up this. Gotta fire up the compressor. Definitely not the compressor. The furnace, the coal generator. There we go. Let's grab coal. Oh, I can't wait to get this organized. I think there's coal in there. That's all right. We'll just take a stack with us. Because we need this guy to run for us. So let's close you there and there. Turn you on, and then I gotta turn you back on. And that should be the whole plant now. So I was playing around my little solo game, and it was like I had the pump there, and it ran everything. So it seemed like I'm guessing it didn't run the hopper because you need the speed. I don't know. Not 100% how it was working, but just seemed strange. All right, yeah, let's go do some digging. And I remember I said I need to buy something next time I go to the store, and I already forgot what it was. But what are you gonna do? An old bed. I want to look at the bed. Whoa. Oh yeah, this ain't quite the route I had, but it'll work. Just take a little scoop there with it. Get a little electrocution in the cab. I think I was up a layer though. Just ain't quite where I was working, so let's get back to where I was. I think was right up through here. Just kind of finishing trying to take the top layer of this material out before I got rid of the ramp and stuff. Pretty sure I flipped sideways at some point. Pretty sure I'll probably do that again. A little rough on the turn there, but that's all right. Definitely want to get digging. Get this pit underground. I got a lot of clearing to do. And all this is going to be like gold and lithium and whatever else in there. I think that dark stuff that usually surrounds the iron. I'm gonna take a little bit more. I ain't gonna go down there. I ain't fully overloaded. Ideally, I could move this at the end of the episode if I wanted, but I think we're going to be in a good spot still for now. A little bit of driving here, but we still have to clear all this that I'm driving over now and get it down to that level. Don't think it's worth moving yet. Not yet, anyway. We'll definitely have to move it at some point. If I'm smart, I'm gonna move it. I'll move it on a day that I'm not allowed to use it. Yeah, the whole, like, producing the steel stuff really at the moment isn't a huge deal for me. Until I start getting, if I get into any, like, more pockets of steel. Like, we have the one up there towards the shop that we kind of just had sitting there in case we needed to make some more money easier to be able to fund down here. But I'm hoping that once we get deep enough in this part here, we'll start hitting a little more consistent amounts of it. Just want to get this all cleared up so we can start clearing this shelf up here. I don't know. I have to look. I'm not even 100%. Is there stuff I can make with, like, the copper and the aluminum and all that? Never really looked at the production of things. I've never played this where I had to build it myself, kind of thing. That could have been a lot worse. Definitely could have been a lot worse. I'll have to take a peek. There ain't nothing in those machines. Those were all steel. I don't know what. I guess maybe parts for the vehicles. That would be the only thing that would kind of make sense to have. Like aluminum and stuff like that. So it was nice to see a few comments that, you know, besides me being bad, it's not just me with, like, the dozer. It's just part of the issue. But I do know that they're working on and they've come a long way. They've definitely were worse in the past, so it's kind of cool. They're coming somewhere, but they're working on the physics of the vehicle, so I'm assuming that'll be a main one they'd like to work on. Oh boy, that was close. So, fingers crossed. And let's so really just got a little bit more there. I don't know how easy it's going to be to get, so we'll try it. We'll try it here once or twice and see what happens. If it's too much of a hassle, we'll just mess with it another time or another way. Get the excavator up there and let it go to town. I can't really hug too much, but gotta have room to turn, so it worked out pretty good. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, morning, night, wherever you may be from, or whatever time it might be when you're watching this. Let's see. Let's try one more scoop up there. And nothing good's gonna come out of this. It never does. Not even able to get that stuff near the edge very easy, so. Well, actually, to be honest with you, that went a lot better than I thought. Except for the backing down part. That definitely went wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure how long until the physics update comes out with some fixes. I'm hoping if it's like a universal like fix, you know, for some of the stuff that they release it on like one type of equipment first and then see how it goes and then push it out to all of them. But like, I don't really feel, I don't know, never driven them, so maybe that's the reason, but like, I don't feel like the loaders are really a big issue. I feel like they, if anything, they seem a little light, maybe. But I think all the vehicles ultimately feel a little light. But I could be wrong. But as of the driving, I wish they turned a little faster, you know, little stuff like that. The buckets and stuff would rotate a little faster, but that might be a pretty good speed. Might be a more realistic speed. I don't know. But ultimately, the loader, I don't really have any issues with. The excavator, I wish that stuff was a little bit faster. Spinning, scooping, stuff like that. Trying to get a little bit. I'm not going to get that little chunk, which is fine. Just knock it out of the air. Oh, bouncing around. The trucks, I don't think, are an issue. I feel like maybe they need to turn a little quicker, but again, that could just be a want, not a realistic thing. So it's hard to say. All right, I think we're gonna call that good over there. Let's start trying to take off some of this stuff here. Oh god. I'm getting too lucky. On a lot of these edges. Trying to think. I mean, really, I guess the excavator, besides like me personally wanting to move a little faster, I guess like the bouncing around. I know some of the people that play the game are really good at the excavators and they don't really move around at all, but for average or lesser people, I think those feel really light. Like you kind of touch the side of the wall and like your whole thing starts spinning sideways. And also that sticky like bug, or I don't say it's a bug, but like sometimes you put the bucket in the ground, you're digging and like it's touching the side, it kind of like sticks and like none of your controls work. You gotta like just bounce it back out and stuff. I guess that would kind of be a nice fix as well, but I feel like I complain a lot more about the game than anything else, but ultimately I'm happy with the game. But like, again, there's no game you're gonna play, especially like this, that you're gonna be 100%. Oh, this is the perfect game. There'll be something in every game you play. So, but don't need them to work on stuff that's working, you know. So the off chance I happen to see this, or who knows, and you can see the stuff that I personally think on my own level, definitely not speaking for the people here. I'm hoping we're getting Gold Mining Simulator 2 soon. I know they said something about the playtest or demo, whatever they're calling it. It's coming out fairly soon, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that is. Again, I'm hoping that's good. And not to replace Out of War. I think there's enough room in this genre. There ain't a whole lot of games out here that to go with it, to complement it, to be a little different, you know, because this essentially, there is gold mining in this, obviously, but this isn't really about gold mining. This is more of a just sandbox, you know, whatever you want kind of thing, whatever you want to dig. You know, and obviously Gold Mining Simulator is in its name, you know, it's about gold mining. But I think in order to make it, you know, obviously different, this game, I think you need more stuff to do with the materials you get. And I'm sure it's coming, and I'm sure they're working on it, and that's obviously not high priority. You know, it should be, you know, near the end of the line, getting the vehicles working good, getting them feeling right, and all that. But, you know, like, again, I really see this game more on the level of farming sim than I do of like Gold Mining Simulator. You know, open world sandbox where you have multiple things you can do and go from there. You know, and you can see it in the roadmap, you know, trucking, trains, you know, stuff like that. That is all part of it. I think that's why I think this game's more similar to farming sim than Gold Mining Simulator. And I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. I have no problem. I love farming sim. I'm excited for the new expansion pack with the fishing and all that. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but you know, this company here for this is used to do a lot of logging mods for Farming Sim, so I'm hoping that those implement into here and kind of give you a chance to log. And like I said, Farming Sim, that's one of my favorite things to do, as weird as it is. But there's not a whole lot of logging games out there. I mean, you got, what, Lumberjack Dynasty, which was, okay, not a terrible game. Not terrible, I don't think. Very, very grindy, like, to get going and to get any kind of equipment. Like, you're got to play forever. But you know, but it'd be fun. Come in here and, you know what? I'm gonna do some digging and stuff and marking the property or doing the property how I want. But ultimately, I wanna log. I wanna set up a logging camp. Which I need to get back in Farming Sim and keep playing on that. So many games come out that I want to try and want to play, and everything just kind of gets set to the side. And this is the only game that I haven't really ever set to the side, so. But these are obviously the most popular videos on my channel. I know there's mining mods in Farming Sim 22, I'm assuming. I don't know. Have they hit 25 yet? Remember a few years ago I tried messing with it in 22. I just couldn't get it to work right and didn't take the time to really research it, get it figured out. But you know, I was digging and doing some stuff, but didn't feel that great. But I'm sure it was my setup. Pretty confident it was my setup. Come on, Terraform unlock. Time I get up here. Trying to scoop the pay dirt and then have my bucket full when I come up and then back up through the dirt and have it just delete. That scoop worked out pretty good for that. You know, what's the other dig-in game that, and I think an alpha for quite a few years. Gold Hunter? I think it is. Yeah. I've had that game for a long time, since it was on their website. It's been quite a few years. See that they, you know, my little news feed on Steam or whatever, because it got on their website, but ended up also, you know, they gave it to you in your library in Steam or whatever. However it worked out, I don't remember. So I get little news on top of it, and I see updates all the time, but I don't see anything that just wanted to draw me back in to give it another shot yet. At some point, I'm sure I will and see where we're at with it, but ultimately, I haven't heard a lot of great things. But you can't always go off what you hear. You gotta sometimes try it yourself, or at least see it. You know, I haven't been watching nobody play it to even get my own opinion. And I don't know. I think that's about it, right? You got this Gold Mining Simulator, Farming Sim, if you want to count that in there, because they do have the mods for that. Gold Hunter. I feel like I'm missing one for some reason, but I don't know what it would be. So yeah, so there's definitely room for two digging games in here. Definitely. They do have, what's the other one coming out, though? It's not really, it's gold mining, but, Gold Hunter or Gold Survivor or Gold Rush, Alaska Gold Rush, maybe it is. Where you have the kind of open world ish food hunger and hunting to for your own food, and I think all that's by hand though, as far as I could tell, just all hand mining. So not the same, but it is similar. I expect that to be coming out fairly soonish, I would think. I feel like they were ready, unless they're doing a full release. I don't know if they're going to release an early access or not. I'll say this, I am happy that Gold Mining Simulator 2 is coming out co-op. Doing it the right way. I know I could roll this and probably get a little bit better pulls, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be going down so far anyway. Like, way back there is the level I got to get this to here at some point. So if I'm going to be trying to be straight as possible, it's going to be from that part down there with all the coal in it to over. Might have to come out and shovel it a little bit just to... Oh, there we go. Shoveled out just, or smooth it down just a little bit, just so I can roll through that a little bit better. Get too dippy, I'm going to end up flipping sideways. I mean, who am I kidding? I'll probably end up flipping sideways anyway at some point. Back, let's hop out and let's just hit this a little bit right now, just to... I definitely don't need no help flipping the machines. I can handle that by myself. Oh, let's get that. Get that. I know I could have like mined that by hand, but like I said, I'm not super worried. We got a lot of it and we'll get more. Smooth out some of this ugly looking stuff. There we go. Did I did back there a little bit too? Forever. I definitely want to get down to stone. Want to get some concrete stuff going, some blocks and flooring and walls, all that good old fun stuff. If nothing else, the ramps, I think, are what I'm really looking forward to. I think the ramps are very helpful in this game. Probably going to come a little sideways. Can I say, can I try to smooth that out? The answer is no, I cannot. It's possible. I just obviously wasn't going to do it right. As soon as I hit that bump, the bucket just dipped down then up. But it's, wow, that put me really far away, didn't it? Was it? I don't feel like I walked that far after I hopped out. Fix what I was trying to do here. Just make it a little more of a good transition there, less of a speed bump. See, how's that work? Yeah, better. Definitely better than dropping off that 2-foot little cliff. That is the hard thing in this game, to see scale of the actual, you know, like bumps and cliffs and holes that you have, like to really see how big of a drop off, or, you know, the rut that you're trying to drive over and you're getting stuck and you're like, oh, that's bullshit. If you get out and look at it, you'll see that it's like 5 foot tall or 6 foot tall, or, you know, if you say, yeah, my character's, you know, probably 6 foot, whatever, ish, average, around, you know, 5.5, 6 foot tall, whatever. You know, like, yeah, why is that putting me so far away? Oh, it's crazy. Like this here, you know, that looks like, you know, it's 5, 6 foot tall. But you get the big equipment, you don't really see that scale. So, you know, I do it. I still, even though I know it, and I'll still find myself like, oh, come on, you can't go over that little bump. And I'm to hop out and look at it, be like, oh, that bump's, you know, 8 foot. And obviously it gets worse as you get into the bigger and bigger equipment. Obviously it makes all that stuff look a lot smaller. Yeah, we're doing some good running though. We're taking a lot of dirt, pay dirt, iron, who knows, lithium, gold, whatever else was in that weird random layer. Before you know it, we're gonna have a drop off. You can see how much we got to clear on that side. Part of me is starting to wish I would have started on top of like a hill. I think clearing dirt would have been a lot easier because I could have just pushed it off the side of the mountain. You know, like you can see the wall there, that is all just dirt. All that's gonna have to be cleared out. And I would honestly say probably solo it wouldn't be, but one of the easiest ways to clear that out, and the easiest, I think, would be a tunneler. You could have somebody back up, you know, if you had like 3 or 4 people, you know, especially if you got a hopper or something close, run that tunnel, fill up a truck, unload it, and have your next buddy or whatever back up, and think once you got a system down, I think you'd clear a lot of dirt. Don't think you'd have to worry as much. I think the tunneler last I used it was pretty decent. Pretty decent. Definitely a hard endeavor solo, I think. A lot more work. Just because if you have, you know, somebody with you, even if you only have one person, at least they can drive the truck and just reverse into you the whole time, so to speak. Kind of wish you could lock it on, but you know, where like when I was starting a little bit of tunneling on my first season, like I'd dig, fill up the belt, back up to the truck, fill up the truck, or drop it into, you know, a hopper or something, and I forgot to turn around. Which worked okay. That's probably the best way, I think, solo to do it, is to get a hopper somewhere near you where you can just back up and unload the belt. I know there was a lot of people that was, you know, putting down like hoppers and stuff underneath it, and as you went, I just found that kind of being like a pain in the butt too, because you had to dig out underneath, dig low enough to drop the hopper. I know a lot of people just put the hopper down and let it dig itself out, which probably would be the route I'd go, but when you're going downhill, obviously that don't work all that well. So, but you never know. Like I said, this, depending on what changes in the game, whenever a season 3 may happen, which I'm sure we're, like I said, long ways away from that, but I'm thinking I'm just going to stay on this map and, you know, like pick up where I left off, so to speak. So like season 3, maybe me tunneling. Maybe that'll be my main goal, is to tunnel. You know, and I'll work off of what I already have now, and, you know, we'll probably, obviously not going to have the wheels and all that, because we'll already have everything unlocked and equipment, but you never know, we may throw something in there, some little curveballs. I've found it kind of fun to have personally. But either way, I haven't really thought about it, just because, like I said, I'm nowhere near that. I mean, man, I've just started running pay dirt, you know. What is this, 40? Episode 40, I think? You know, and I've only been running that few episodes out of this, you know, cut that, you know, the pit that I decided to start with. You know, I've ran a little bit of pay dirt here and there, but this is actually out of my cut, so out of my claim. So I'm hoping next episode we will work on the road, hopefully. I said I want to get that road done, and I want to get the last road to the other watchtower, whatever it is, done. That way we can start rolling again for our new tier, what is it? I don't even know what we're on. I can't even keep track. Tier 4 equipment. Bigger loaders and dozers and trucks and all that. And then I got to dig that ditch still, but we had a pretty good system. I think that was working on that we started before I realized that I probably should build a road before I build a ditch, because it just makes life easier. All right, well, we almost got this top little shelf cleared, almost. Got a little more work to do, and then we have to come back down here and then clear all this shelf that I'm currently driving on to this level here. And then we have to go down there and then clear all of this to that level. And put us all in the same line, so same heights and all that. I do gotta go over there and cut that down a little more. It's a little high right now still. Let's smooth this back out a little bit up here. It's getting a little gnarly. What do we got? Some coal in there? I don't know if I remember seeing coal up top there. I can't remember now. I actually kind of feel like it is. That's kind of where we stopped clearing, isn't it? I don't feel like, well, no, I'm not going to ramp up. I'm just going to take what I can, and that'll be the edge for now. I'm not going to try to clear all the way to the highest point. We'll get that when we start working on clearing the next cut, I guess. Will make sense. So I really want to work on the plant area too, but at the same time, part of me wants to dig in this when we have the ability, when we have the hopper available and, like, you know, the loader, or at least the truck in the loader, or even the excavator once we get to a certain point. Because I don't, minus the shop being closed, there's nothing that really stops us from building. And if we lose this, but we still have the bulldozer, then we can, you know, still be clearing land up there. I feel like this is kind of the play, kind of. Kind of clearing, getting this ready to mine. So yeah, we definitely going to work on the 2 roads still. That'll take a while. We got some work on those, I know. But we did make good progress last episode. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's not perfectly flat. It won't be, regardless. But it will be a lot better than it is. You know, still pretty hilly and stuff like that. But we'll go through and fine tune and adjust and get it pretty decent. Something would be nice to drive back and forth on. I think it would kind of be cool too to have like some pre-built buildings like we have, but like a gas station, stuff like that to be able to throw down. Because one, not everybody likes to build. Two, the building system, as we know, isn't the best. But I think it'd be cool to be able to have some prefabs that you can put down and drop. Like I said, we have some already, so it's not like it's out of the question. I mean, honestly, if they ever do the building system or redo it, get us a pretty decent building system. And I know this won't happen, but it would be cool to see it on like the workshop. Like you can save your plans, put on the workshop so other people can, you know, subscribe to your buildings and stuff. Technically mods, which I know they are having mod support, but last I heard it's just vehicles, not game-changing stuff, so we'll see what happens. Guess that really don't mean that there won't be, right? They're just not going to support it. And there's games that don't have mod support that have mods in it, so. I said again, I don't care. It doesn't need to be like a Valheim and Shrouded, you know, some of the good building systems. I'd be down with like, you know, your typical indie survival game. Grid building, but stuff connects a little bit better, a few more pieces to really get something special. Make it look fancy. Try to take some of this higher ground stuff here a little bit because we're about on the edge of where we're gonna go. Nice thing is we got all the steel pieces just sitting there being made. Eventually I'm just gonna have to buy the production stuff and maybe do that when we get ready to start building and actually laying stuff down. If like I don't have the stuff and it's taken forever, I'll probably get the production, even if I put it on its own system and we just kind of run it to get what we need. I'll probably do that. I mean, at some point I'll have, you know, it all steel factory and stuff like that, but I'm not as worried about it right now. Look at that. That's all dirt. That is so much dirt to clear. All right, I don't have to think about it right now. But it is dreadful to think of and look at. Oh, I don't really want to take out the wall there. Just need to get a little closer. Because I have always wanted to do like an underground pit. Not just tunneling, but actual huge underground like mine. So I would, if I had to say right now, if someone's like, all right, season 2's done, what would you want season 3 to be about? If I had to choose right now, that's probably what it would be. Be an underground mine. Giant pit. And I don't think I would have to worry about it. I don't think I will per solo dig enough out of this to worry about like the max, you know, the chunk size being messed up. But don't think that would be an issue. I'm sure I could get a few seasons out of one save file. I mean, there's only been a few people that I know that's actually hit it, and it's again. And I'm sure that's going to get increased. I don't know if it's going to be with an engine upgrade or something like that, but especially with, you know, multiplayer added, and assuming that we'll get at least 16 player servers, I think you'll start hitting that save save chunk file, you know, maximum a lot quicker, obviously. So we'll have to see when we get there. Let's go here. Yeah, I definitely agree with myself, at least, that I think the hopper was a good play. Going back on what I originally said, saying no hoppers, anything like that, I think I'm happy I decided to change that. Not half the episode is digging, and the other half is driving a dump truck just to go dump into a pit. And I probably would like to assume that most people would agree they'd rather see more digging and less just driving a truck up a hill. I know I'm having more fun, so that's rule 1. So that's important. Don't matter what your rules are, if you're not having fun, do whatever you have to do to have fun, and I think this made it better. Yeah, we've come close. We're close to that wall. Like I said, we got to go over there and get that area down a little bit because it's still a little high. We might be a little high back there at the end, but we'll figure that out once we get to it. Well, you know what? I don't think we're going to be. I think we're actually really good height. We're actually pretty low, ultimately. Which ain't a bad thing. It means it'll clear out nice and quick. Kind of already over as far as I planned on going. If I keep going, it's going to be beyond what I planned, but that's all right. I don't care. Since when do I do what I plan? Let's come up here. Let's, actually don't really need to clear back there. That's kind of not planning on going that far over. That could have went bad. I don't think that would have been good in real life. This thing seems to get really good fuel. I feel like the big guy that I used last season, I would have already burned through tank and a half at least. I do need to clear there. Clear there. We'll probably smooth off that back wall. Just shovel it up a little bit. Just so it looks a little more natural. No, because ultimately this, I feel like, you know, obviously if this is dirt. Oh, it's that stupid. This could go bad. Okay. You know, like this little overhang there, that I feel like that would just be falling at this point. And I know unless they disabled it, I know there's, you know, cave-ins-ish. You know, like little pieces will fall off in here and there, but like the whole roof ain't gonna collapse and fall down. At least at once. Like it'd be really cool if it did, but can't imagine the performance it takes to handle that, you know. All the physics and stuff happening. I think we're about back against that wall about as far as I'm going to go at the moment. Let's clear off that little bit there. Might go a little bit more that way. Wasn't planned, but I might do it anyway. Probably, yeah, probably not too much further because where that got that little cave going on in there, I'll probably flatten that out, smooth it off, so. Yeah, then it's just down to that layer. I do got to clear off a little bit of this top right back there where that grass is. I didn't doze it because a lot of it's coal. I think fairly shallow into it. So that back there, like there's a lot of coal we're stopping, we're not gonna go and get. We will get it at some point. Just not right now. I didn't push far enough back to clear. Oh, our first cut. I don't know, man, it's not tiny. Not huge, but I don't think it's tiny. It's small. But we'll mine this down, and then once we start getting some bigger equipment, I think it might make life a little easier for us clearing. I will say I do think the bigger dozers do seem to work a little bit better than the smaller ones. But I don't think they're, you know, like, oh, the big ones are fixed and the small ones are broke. I mean, I think they all are, but I do feel like the bigger ones work a little bit better. Or at least when it messes up or pushes dirt, you kind of go on a pit, at least you're pushing a lot more dirt, so call that a victory either way. Plus, I think this is a pretty good size for the size equipment we have at the moment. Yeah, don't ask what that was. That was terrible. In my mind, I knew what I was doing. In actual execution, I failed. Yeah, so we'll probably leave the hopper there until we clear off all that little bit there, and then a little bit of that grass, and obviously we're gonna have to move it down off of here because we'll be taking the dirt off of here. You go to do straight, but you know, I'm kind of crooked and bumpy, so as soon as I hit a bump, it raises and lowers itself. I wonder how many units does like a 400 hold, like of dirt? Like how much to fill it up? Like, I know how much it holds. You know, I have to look. I mean, I can find out how much it holds, like cubic foot or yard or whatever measurement we have it on. But like, you know, this here holds, what is it? 10? Something like that? 11? Whatever it is. How many, if I was to put all this in my inventory, what number would that be? I'm trying to think of a way I could even figure that out. I didn't plan on going over that far, I didn't think, but it's hard just to, like, it's so easy to get right now, just to scoop out all that extra iron. No, I'm right here. Let me flatten this out a little bit because I'm going to take a little bit more into the mountain. I think I have a whole lot. I think I'm done up here. I'm going to clean up just some of this little stuff here. It looks gross. Yeah, we'll probably... Well, yeah, we're actually not that bad from what I'm planning. There's the pylon I put up, so probably cut that right there and clear that out. Feel like this way we're probably pretty good. This is where I'm gonna kind of hit it and get rid of most of the overhangs and stuff on it. So taking some of this. So we're just gonna smooth this off here a little bit. Just for aesthetics, just to look a little nicer to me. Move it out a little bit, a little less jagged edges. I know, I hate the jagged edges. Talk about it all the time. Not so much of the digging. This stuff right here, just like it shouldn't be this freaking bumpy. Put that in, pull this out a hair. Just to give it a little bit better look, I think. And there. Round off this bottom hair. Don't really have to worry about flow. Yeah, that looks a little bit better to me. All right. That's good. Yeah, popping me out by the vehicle. Now, I don't know what it thought I was stuck on before, and it was launching me like 20 foot in front of the vehicle. Yeah, it looks better. Yeah, it looks nicer, I think. Whoa. You can imagine, like, you know, if you hit, like, you know, the conveyors and stuff, they'd fall down and stuff like that. And part of me is like, oh, that'd be really cool. Part of it, God, that sucks. Or that's really annoying, but understandable at least. I felt like we've moved. It's been... We're in 15 already. I feel like we moved a good amount of dirt for solo guy with this little loader. Here, we got this to do a little bit of... So far, we got a nice chunk of pay dirt. I'm pretty sure there's pay dirt down underneath where I'm at, too. It's just down a little bit, I believe. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cleared out. Good. Then we'll probably, once I get that, we'll go in there and I'm going to smooth off that little bit there, too, just to give it a little bit better look. For me, looks don't matter, I know, but for me, I'm kind of working on building something here, trying to make it look cool as possible. Anybody can just dig an ugly hole, right? Fuel low. Hopefully I can finish these last little bit before that runs out. Then we'll definitely fill this up before end of episode, just in case we have a fuel shortage. I don't know if we will. Honestly, I think we still got a decent amount of digging over there to do. I don't know. Too bad. Let's see. Calculated. That was close. Of course, and I would have tried to, get it out by itself, which I did last time, right? I was able to wiggle myself out of it while digging a giant hole in the ground. Going up any higher there, we're just going to catch it and pull ourselves up. Got a lot of weight on the back of or on the front of this thing. He's hopping around, going too fast over these bumps, bucket kind of high. Trying to watch that fuel. I mean, granted, at this point, you know, oh, I got to pay $2,000 and buy a fuel tank and then don't get to keep it, but I don't want that to be the practice of it. Eventually we'll unlock a fuel truck. I think once we build the road, the ditches, and then the road to the other watchtower way over by the coal plant, I think the next set of vehicles to unlock, that'll be there. So we'll have one other wheel to spin here in the next 20 episodes to unlock some new vehicles again. But honestly, I can't even tell you what I'm obviously I think loader, bigger loader would be the first thing I'd want. I mean, a new loader, that's the last thing I would want. I hope I don't get that till the very end. I think it's too late, but I'm going to try it anyway, you know? I'm trying to think what else. I mean, besides all the, you know, all the bigger equipment of everything that we already have. The fuel truck, I believe, is in it. That'd be the only thing I think. Kind of new wise, I think. Try to get it down quicker before it did that, but all right. Man, oh man. We're pretty close to, I think, the distance I'm going over. Yeah, I think we're gonna call that good. Which sucks, you know, because I'm obviously walking away from pay dirt sitting there, but the greater good. So next we'll be clearing this layer. To combine these two to one, and then down there. And if I start doing it now, like I just started, I'm gonna not want to stop and keep going. I'm just gonna want to keep going, digging. Just like this, and I need to go get some fuel. Alright, let's, we probably got enough gas to leave that running for the moment. Let's go try to make this a little prettier over here. A lot of that I'm going to go up for. So if I could bring some of this back out a little easier. I know I could put dirt there, but I don't mind too much. A weird little lump. We're going to get rid of that guy. Oh, made it even weirder. A lot of this will be coming out anyway on the bottom, but not here. Try to get this looking like a wall instead of a dug in piece of ground. I know, but it is dug in. Just took out a tree with a shovel. Dang it. Wanted to get a little bit more before it did it. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Definitely want to pick floating pylon up. Not too worried there. What I was hoping to do from up top, kind of that, but it didn't really work out. Oh, there goes a little bit of a cave in. I just leave that like that is and let it slowly see how far it caves in for us. Fix that, and I think we are good. Yeah, well, that little bit just cave in. Maybe after a certain amount of time, it'll all just fall down. That'd be cool. So I came down here to show you this part that I was talking about next. Yeah, so down here, after we cleared that little bit there, we're going to clear all this all the way across. And then, you know, we'll be there with our pit. But yeah, I wanted to come down here and show you that. And then it'll be here. This is our ramp down. Well, we have to widen this up. So we'll do that too at some point. And I'd like to have ramps for that, concrete ramps. We know that it's good and true and straight. Then it'll just be down a layer and all the way over, down a layer, all the way over, so to speak. And oh, but yeah, I just wanted to drop down there real quick and show you what I was looking at for plans. So. All right, and then we're gonna move you. Just gonna move you right here, just in case you break down. I want you out of the way. If you work, then we could drive you wherever we need you. All right, let's take a look at what we got in here. Oh. Well, I don't remember what we had before. I'm not keeping track for any need or any reason. But we took out all the steel, I'm pretty sure. If not, we left a very little bit in there. And so we got at least 6,000 of that. More gold, lithium, aluminum, diamond, yep. Still only 60 blasted rocks. We got that from somewhere. And I'm going to shut... How much coal did we use? About half. And I'm just going to shut you off. Because I don't know if we'll need you for next episode or not. But I want to make sure... Yeah, see, it shuts this off too. Even though it has power. Like that, but whatever. That means that was probably down the whole last episode, wasn't it? Whatever. Whatever. We got a lot of money in oil alone. I need to get... What do I need? 1 or 2 more refineries? And once we do this, too, because this ain't staying here. This will move. We'll, like I said, we'll find another, maybe on the other side of that mountain or something. We'll find a new area to make a whole, like, field of this, so to speak. And I don't want it just like that. I want, to pipe up and come up over here, obviously, because we're going to need some for asphalt, which will be, somewhere tentatively over here on the other side of this plant, because we'll look at it real quick, just to kind of show you in case you're new or you don't watch all the episodes all the way through or whatever the case may be. Because this here will flatten out and we'll have basically little chutes like that, like probably, well, 1 for asphalt, 1 for coal, 1 for dirt. So at least 3. So place you can back up and load into trucks. So we'll probably have the asphalt plant over here. And so we'll have to pipe in. So I want pipelines like going, across the sky. We'll have them high up, so to speak. But I want pipelines coming across. I think that'll look cool. Yeah, we'll have to look. Maybe on the side of this hill we'll find some coal, but that's, again, no huge rush. It may just be something one day I go, you know what? Let's do that. And this, we gotta finish clearing this up here. We gotta clear just probably from this wall to that little dirt wall there. And I don't know how much lower I'm gonna go. Part of me wants to go another layer, but part of me is impatient, wants to be able to start building. So we'll just take this, raise it up. Part of the problem is I want like a space underneath it, at least like a block worth of space, so I can run belts under it if I need to. But we'll see where we get at with that. I'm not really sure. But yeah, all this will be ripped down. We'll have new platforms here, all steel. We're in the process of making some now. The other side originally was going to be for smelting. I don't know what we're going to do with that side. That might become the power plant side over there, just depending on what we need. I don't know. That with that turbines there, we'll probably have some spread out around the area. But again, we're limited by how much power can go through stupid power poles, pylons. So we'll have to figure that out. But that's something we will definitely do. But I think that's a good spot to end it. We got a ton of dirt moved. At least I feel we did. Next time we're in the cut, we'll be getting that second shelf done, and then we'll be down to our main shelf, and then from there on out it'll just be level across until we start clearing up top here, which we're a ways from. Might be working on the road. We got to finish this road. We have the first part here that we did last episode that we have to go through and kind of, grade out and get smooth as possible. No like super high bumps or, lip, stuff like that. We'll try to work on that. And then the other half of the road, dig a ditch. We got this, let's see. Which way is the coal plant? That way. Sometimes you can see the smoke from it. So we got a watchtower way over there, I think, right? Watchtower is like right through there. So somewhere over there, we got to build a road like from here to there or here to there. But I don't think that's going to be too bad. We already have that road built. We have that one built. Then we built from, let's see, we're right here. So we built all to there. Now we just have from here to there. And then a bridge across this, which we're making steel for, which is probably what the steel will go for first, but whatever. But thank you for taking time to watch. Hope you made it all the way through. If you did and you liked the video, hit that like button for me. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts or anything else. Just a hi, a wave, any emojis, anything helps out with the engagement on the channel and helps us grow. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button for me, really appreciate all the support so far. Hope you have a wonderful night, evening, and morning, and hope to catch you next video. Bye.